Okay. What's up, everyone, and to our friends around the world, welcome to another episode of CGAP's iCONNECT, or our Color Guard Internet Course Training. And for tonight, we have a returning guest to join us this evening. He marched several Winter Guard groups from 2010 to 2015. That includes IMBU Independent World, Perpetual Independent World, Ocean Independent World, and Vallejo High School Open Guard. Let's welcome everyone, Mr. Christian Bustos. Hi, Chan. Welcome to CGAP.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
Yes, welcome. And for tonight, for our part two, we will again tackle some questions left by our mentors, focusing on the audition process. Tell us, what is it like to have that audition in focusing on the culture in
Mhm.
United States?
Okay. So yung audition process sa US, so usually depende, pwedeng 2 weeks or isang weekend. Pero usually magsa-start tayo ng dance block or movement block yung tawag nila. So magpo-focus tayo sa mga techniques at style ng movement at dance nila. This could be ballet, modern, jazz dance. We'll be focusing siguro ang siguro yung mga, let's say, like tondus, pliés, simple turns, leaps, jumps, ganon. And then after that, pag natapos na yung warm-up at exercise, we will move on siguro sa parang dance combination. That way, pag na pag naturo na yung dance combination, kung kailan yung final day, ipa-perform din yun. So after movement block, we will move on siguro usually to flag block. There we'll learn basic techniques, spins, tosses, and then maybe a flag choreo or combination. So and then after that, moving on to usually you'll have a choice of rifle or saber or both, depending on time. So basically, yung whole audition process, tinuturuan nila yung dance technique, yung equipment technique, tapos siguro mga combinations para i-perform mo sa harapan ng mga instructors at mga mentors on the last day para doon sila malalaman or magno-note sila kung sino yung yung who can follow instruction well, who can perform the technique well and the choreography well, and that's how they select the members for the upcoming season to perform.
Okay.
Next question.
Hi, Wesley. Are you still there? I think we're having another technical issue. But just to continue, um, did you ever had
Mm-mm.
a rejection experience while in the audition? Have you ever been rejected?
Parang rejection as in I didn't make it.
Yeah.
I would say Blue Devils, drum corps.
Mm-hmm.
So, pero it wasn't kasi yung dun pag na-send na yung letter na results mo kung napasok ka, kung performer ka o hindi, you either get a yes or a no. Pero meron din option na wait list. So kung sakali mag-open yung spot at may kailangan sila mag-fulfill ng position, kasama ka sa mga options nila. Para kang alternative kung
Okay.
sakali lang.
For wait list. So, do you have any advice for the color guards out there na, experiencing some frustrations, some failures, like if hindi nila nakukuha yung skills na gusto nila, or if they wanted to try to be part of a community group or mas higher level of group pero hindi sila natatanggap. So, like your experience, ano yung masasabi mo
Mm.
sa kanila? Advice.
Okay. So based on that, I would say tuloy pa, i-push. Kasi lalo na kung meron pang ibang mga groups na pwede mong mag-join. Kasi yung, of course, yung ibang groups, maybe they're more experienced, kaya nahihirapan ka. So maybe you want to start with a group that's a little more, hindi naman parang komportable ka, pero parang siguro mas beginner level or beginner group sila so that you can follow along. That way, at least, meron kang group na you can still learn, pwede kang mag-ensayo, and you can still develop technique through that. And then, kasi yung mga technique natin at yung mga skills natin, they only develop through experience. Kung gaano i-push mo yung sarili mo. So, I would say, if you're having a hard time with with getting into a group, find a group that maybe you can join to develop yourself. And then the next year, go ahead and try for that group that may be more experienced. In terms of maybe like skill, like meron sila naturo sa practice pero hindi mo nakukuha, that usually happens. Normal yon, pero you also have to put time outside of practice kasi one of my mentors in the US always said na pag may ensayo tayo or pag magkasasama tayo lahat, yung term na yun, rehearsal. Yung practice dapat sa bahay yun or on your own time. Kasi when you meet, that's when you put all the parts together para magma-mesh. Para ma-conserve din yung time
Yeah, that's good.
sa
So,
rehearsal.
so it's important na they continue their practice on their own time para pagdating ng rehearsal
Mhm.
time with the entire group, mas prepared sila, mas madali at mas
Mhm.
productive yung buong grupo.
Yes. And to add on, kasi I would also say like kung meron silang like alam sa grupo na tao, maybe they have connections or like they know the members, just ask them, like how's your technique or what would help me to prepare myself better for siguro yung audition process, ganun, para may idea sila.
Okay. So speaking of like having your rehearsal on your own time, ano naman po yung mga color guard must-haves? Kumbaga, on your own, ano yung dapat meron kang material or equipment, something like that?
Mm-mm.
Or ano ba yung, let's say, top 5 basic routines or skills na as a color guard, whether you're a beginner or advanced, meron ka or you still develop it continuously po?
Mm. Okay, so in terms of supplies and must-haves, yung color guard starter pack,
Yes.
let's say basic always flag, kasi yung flag, usually that's doon nagsimula yung color guard yung flag. Tapos, depending on your group, if they require or they spin rifle, yun. Kadalasan yung saber depende din kasi I feel like it's a progression in your maturity and your skill sa sa spinning at technique, 'di ba? Kagaya na dito when I first came here last year to work with CGAP, I didn't realize that you guys did not really spin saber. So it really depends on the group and what they focus on what to do. But basically, yung flag, tapos siguro rifle. But must-haves always have electric tape. Kasi sometimes you have to check on your equipment and retape. Maybe your straps will fall out. Maybe a screwdriver, especially if you have a rifle. Um,
But for
ano pa?
adults, not for kids, the screwdriver though. Yeah.
For kids, yung
Yeah.
mga equipment
Yeah.
or yung kailangan nila. Yeah, I would just say the basic flag,
Mhm.
and then rifle, and then depending if you guys can, if you're a group that spins saber, yun. But other than that, maybe I think yun lang. I mean, obviously, a change of clothes,
Yes po.
water,
Yes.
kailangan mo mag-hydrate, snacks talaga, kasi mamamatay ka sa, sa stress at gutom.
And yes, water
Oh, and then
important.
in terms, yung follow-up question kasi yung what else do we need in terms of like exercises, basics,
Yes,
yung,
like skills or routines, let's say
mm,
top
mm,
5 skills or routines na dapat meron or alam yung color guards. Yeah, service is back
okay,
po.
hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So I would say in terms of yung mga skills at exercises, so in terms of dance, make sure I think it's usually heavily on ballet and modern background and jazz. So yung mga simple plie exercises, tondu, kasi yun sa mga tondu, nakukuha natin yung mga point technique natin sa mga paa, which is what a lot of the judges will probably comment on. Tapos dun mo din malalaman yung mga exercises na siguro matutunan mo yung alignment, kung paano yung alignment. So I think that yung mga also movement exercises as far as stretches at yung mga contraction at mga release, yun yung mga importante in terms of exercises for movement. When it comes to technique and exercises for equipment, I would say just the basic drop spins, and then like for flag, single, double, or single, one and a half, double tosses. Kung meron kayong mga angle tosses, siguro mga 45s sa warm-ups. In terms of rifle and saber or weapon, I would say, yeah, yun din, yung drop spins, drop spin 50 each hand. Depende sa group mo, instructor mo, kung anong gusto nila. Yung iba 100. Ano pa, tosses, maybe, usually, for my experience in World Guard, we start at triple. We don't warm up with singles or doubles, usually. Pero meron parang single exercise, yung mga flips, pero iba yun. But in terms of tosses, we start at triple, go on to quad, 5, 6, 7, and then depending on group, 8, 9, 10. Yun. Yeah, I think that's the basics.
So, yung 27 points, does it really, kumbaga,
Ah,
lahat ba ng ginagawa yun? Or may specific groups lang?
well, 27 points, nakuha ko sa mga mentors ko galing sa Blue Devils. So I know Blue Devils, ginagamit nila yung 27 points. Kasi yung 27 points, iba't ibang angles sa around your body. So there, with the 27 points, they use that as a tool to be able to para mas madali ilinis yung mga choreography. Kasi, for example, siguro sasabihin ng instructor, punta ka sa point 7, di ba? Point 7 dito, at sa count, siguro count 16, siguro, if we're talking about flag, siguro yung silk mo nasa taas, tapos yung polo, yung tip mo nasa baba, or saan siya nagpa-face, yun. So, yung 27 points, it really depends on yung grupo. I feel like also 27 points is, it's mas madali matutunan yun. Yung depende sa skill ng grupo mo. Depending on their maturity and how they've grown in their color guard career. Kasi I mean, 27 points is good, a good exercise. Pero kung gamitin mo siya as para malinis mo yung choreography, siguro yung mga mas experience para makuha nila. Kasi pag sinabi mo point 19 on count 7, di ba? In relation also, so yun yung equipment, in relation also to your body, ano nang ginagawa ng paa mo, nagda-rendezvous ka ba? Naka-bakma ka ba? Saan yun So in terms of yung equipment mo and your movement in body in the space around you, of course.
Okay.
So yeah, 27 points. It just depends on I think the skill level. But I feel like kung pwede, kung kaya, sure, push mo yung 27 points as a warm-up. Pero for cleaning purposes, kung pwede mo i-implement, kung ready na yung group, sure, go na.
Okay. So, on the other side, ano yung mga must-haves ng every color guard during training? Ano yung mga dapat nilang dalhin? Ang iba kasi merong palaging tape, yung iba may mga, specific na bagay. Dala-dala.
Okay. So in terms of in your bag, like I told kay Ate Pats, I would say obviously your electric tape, your water, your gloves, a change of clothes, snacks, food, kailangan yan. Ano pa? I think that's it. Screwdriver kasi kung kailangan mo i-screw yung bolt ng or yung mga swivel at strap ng rifle mo. What else? Obviously, yung mga wooden rifles, make sure bago mo i-electric tape, strapping tape muna para i-protect yun from any, oh my god, what's that term? Para hindi mag-crack. Kasi yung iba, hindi nila alam na dapat i-strap tape muna. So, actually, hindi ko rin nalaman yun nung first year sa color guard ko. So, yung bagong rifle ko na
I was just
nag-crack.
I was just telling to Kuya Chan a while ago when he mentioned about the screwdriver that it should be, with supervision ng adult kapag kids yung gagamit. So just to be safe.
Yeah.
But if you're like an adult color guard, you have to have your own equipment and tools kasi ikaw din na magme-maintain ng sarili mong equipment. So dapat kasama
Yes.
yon sa responsibility mo as a color guard to make sure that you also do maintenance sa sarili mong equipment, punas, marunong kang
Yes.
mag-taping, marunong kang magtahi ng silk mo kaysa hintayin mong lalo siyang lalong masira. So, even for the kids, I think they should know how to take care of their equipment. But yun nga, yung mga ganong klaseng tools, just make sure may adult supervision.
Yeah, lalo na pag edgy, pag matalim,
Yes po.
kailangan may guide. Okay, now, pag naka-gear up na yung bata or yung color guard natin, Christian, based on your experience, how do you prepare for a rehearsal? Lalo na pag mahaba yung rehearsal.
Okay. How do I prepare for a rehearsal? Bilang performer or instructor?
I think siguro performer muna tayo, then let's go to instructor.
Okay, as far as a performer, I'll prepare. So siguro the night before or a couple hours before, i-ready ko na yung bag ko. So yung sinabi natin na kailangan natin idala. So yung mga tape, ganon, water, snacks, ganon. Pero also, especially kung nasa season ka na, alam mo na yung program mo, siguro magma-mental run-through ako bago pumasok. Like, kasi importante yung mental run-through para may, yun yung parang warm up mo yung mind mo para mag-focus ka sa rehearsal mo. Maybe if I have also time, well, dapat din mag-spin ka at yung i-review mo lahat yung siguro yung mga choreography bago ka pumasok. Para pagdating sa rehearsal site at nag-ensayo kayo, mas madali i-practice as a whole group at i-connect lahat yung program. Kasi kung maghintay ka mag-practice or warm up sa rehearsal site, time consuming naman yun eh. So you have to, para sa akin, mentally prepare ko yung sarili ko at i-physically prepare ko yung sarili ko with my equipment bago ako pumasok.
As a mentor naman, how a mentor should prepare before a rehearsal?
Okay, so a mentor should have dapat meron kang parang agenda, pero I would say, like, as a general agenda. Pero of course, alam natin sa guard world, hindi naman perfect yung schedule. So you can't really have a strict schedule kasi umiiba yan. Depende kung ano nangyayari sa rehearsal site. For example, siguro magta-try kayong choreography na dapat 30 minutes lang, pero nagustuhan nyo na mag-experiment pa sa, for example, movement. Siguro nag-focus kayo lang or nag-prepare kayo lang. 30 minutes lang tayo mag-movement. Kaya lang, nagustuhan nyo yung nakita nyo, so mag-adjust kayo sa time. So I would say agenda. Also, yeah, I think it's just really, as a mentor, you have to have just communication within your staff. Kung ano yung, para alam niyo yung agenda, paano i-divide yung mga time, at kung ano yung gusto niyo i-focus. Yung mga weaknesses, so focus more time on that.
Dapat may specific, may not really specific, but as you said, general goals on what to accomplish for that,
Yes.
span of time. Now, for rehearsal process, what's your idea? What's the ideal rehearsal schedule? Kasi may iba na half day lang, may ibang full day, and like what you've
Mm.
mentioned last time, kumaabot kayo ng, wee hours in the morning, paano ba
Yeah.
dapat yun?
Okay, so for example, okay, if I was in high school, yun, usually yung rehearsal after school, di ba? So usually we'll have like 2 to 3 hours. Maybe like my usual schedule was Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from like maybe 3 o'clock hanggang 5:30. Pero kung Friday, we'll go from 3 hanggang siguro 6 or 7 kasi maybe we have a show the next day. Pero nung nag-independent world ako, obviously, iba't iba yung schedule at iba't iba yung mga tao kung saan sila nanggagaling ng lugar. So, usually, mag-meet kaming weekends lang. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, maybe Friday, mag-ensayo kami lang 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or depende kung gaano karami yung kailangan namin itapusin sa choreography. So 6 to 9 or 6 to 10 or maybe 6 to 12 a.m. Tapos Saturday can be 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Tapos yung Sunday, I think it was 9 or 10 a.m. hanggang 6 p.m. Tapos uwi na. Kasi yung iba nagko-commute 3 hours, yung iba 6 hours. So, yun lang yung problema sa pag-independent world kasi lahat siguro college students na. So, kaya weekend lang yung pwede.
And again, nawala ulit si MD. But yeah, tama. And I think the same what's happening here in the Philippines, and also ang hirap because of limited schedules then because of class,
Yeah.
and sometimes
Yes.
hindi agad nag-start yung rehearsal schedules. Parang mangyayari yon kapag malapit na yung competition. So, mas
Mm.
nagiging challenge siya sa mentors and also sa color guard members para makabuo ng program. It's just like, lagi natin lang pinapaalala, katulad nung sinabi niyo po a while ago, na you have to, hindi man specific kung ano yung schedule, pero you have to set a goal kung ano yung gusto mong i-focus today para hindi exhausted yung buong rehearsal. Para
Mm.
effective ka, productive ka
Mm.
dun sa rehearsal mo ngayon,
Yes.
kesa lagi kasi natin ginagawa yan with our pilot squad, di ba? Parang even 2
Mm.
hours lang or 3 hours, we will have lang yung limited rehearsal, pero we will hit kung ano yung gusto natin for today, kesa yung ipupush mo sila for 8 hours or 10 hours or more
Yeah.
rehearsals without achieving anything for that day. So I think that's the
Mm.
point na we want to say sa ating mga mentors, na to have effective rehearsal, hindi yung nakakapagod
Yeah.
na ensayo.
Yes. Dapat alam mo yung grupo mo talaga.
Yes.
Kasi ma-read mo din eh. If kasi obviously kasi kami, mahaba yung rehearsal namin kasi experience na kami. At we're years na kami nagpa-perform. So sa amin lang yung endurance lang na build na.
Yes.
So pero of course kung high school or middle school, elementary, health din dapat yung alam mo. So yeah.
And lagi rin natin pinapaalala na don't skip warm up. Alam mo yun. Well, the color guard members kapag mas medyo mature na, dapat you do your own warm up. Pero pag katulad
Mm-mm.
sa mentors, kahit 30 minutes, 15 minutes you do warm up. Wag agad sabak sa choreography kasi nga 'di ba
Yes.
parang kailangan kasi
Mm-mm.
yung process talaga po. And again, we're back
Yeah,
with service.
actually, to add on
Yeah,
that,
yes.
kasi yeah. So in terms of like this goes into rehearsal, then yeah, like we don't. I realized like doon sa US, we really focus on yung especially pag when we come together, magwo-warm up kami together.
Mhm.
Kasi yun yung para i-ready namin lahat yung mindset namin na nasa rehearsal space tayo, magfo-focus tayo, doon kami magko-connect. For example, yung mga body warm-ups natin or dance class, yung
Yes.
mga breathing exercises, contraction and release, yun yung nagsisimula yung mga parang sabay-sabay sa paghinga, contraction, release. So yun yung talaga yung focus moment. So getting into the mood of rehearsal. So kaya that's why like for example kung magsa-start ka ng rehearsal or nasa competition day ka, first and foremost gusto mong magkaroon ng parang mga not long pero um, just a good amount of warm up as a group as a whole just to unify and unite the minds together.
Yes. And you mentioned about endurance, which is that's why we
Mm-hmm.
keep them going kahit parang medyo pagod sila because we're pushing them na masanay para pagdating ng
Mm-hmm.
performance they would know how to control their breathing, paano
Yeah.
nila kinokontrol yung energy nila. So that's it. But you also have to make sure na hindi mo sila pinupush ng sobra na napapagod sila na hindi na nila kaya.
Mm,
Okay
yeah.
po. And Sir Weasley, are you here with us? Not
Tips
yet.
para sa endurance, make sure you're working out outside of rehearsal din. So, kung jogging lang, okay lang yon. And kung pwede, eat healthy, as healthy as
As
possible.
healthy as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so siguro after we post this interview, we will be showing some of our rehearsal like the 27 points na tinuturo niyo po sa pilot squad and some of the your demonstration with some spins para we can show them yung mga nabanggit niyo po kanina kasi probably they would ask ano yung 27 points kasi hindi siya gano'ng popular
Mm,
here. So siguro po
yeah.
we will post that. Okay, so para we can wrap na lang siguro dahil I think Sir Weasley's connection is not really good. Can we ask like can you share kung ano yung greatest achievement mo sa career ng color guard?
Mm. Okay. Yung greatest achievement ko, I would say my last year marching with Imbue 2015. Kasi that was my first year na I actually performed in semifinals and finals at WGI World Championships in Ohio. So, kasi the past years I've marched with Perpetual and In Motion, very talented groups, but we never made it past prelims. So I think that was the greatest achievement. Being with MBU in 2015, and just experiencing yung audience, iba kasi yung feeling pag prelims at semis at finals, ang daming tao nanonood. It's very exciting. Pero medyo nerve-wracking pero mostly exciting kasi lahat ng pinaghirapan mo sa ensayo, yung blood, yung sweat, yung tears na sa rehearsal, yun, showcase mo, pinapakita mo yung galing mo, yung talent mo sa buong mundo. So, and then yun, nag-place kami top 5 in 2015 in the world. So, yeah. And then just that year was also a great year because we got to compete with Imachi too, and they're so good. So Imachi, Onyx, SCV, Pride of Cincinnati, yeah, silang lahat, very talented. So to be able to be at the top with them and compete with them, very talented, is very humbling. And then another achievement would be having the opportunity to work with CGAP, because not, just being a Philam and coming back here to my roots and sharing what I learned in the US and just seeing the talent here and the commitment, especially from a young group, um, a really, really young group,
Yeah.
and just perform well. And, it's great to share at nakikita mo yung mga bata nakukuha nila yung mga choreography, nakakatuwa talaga. Nakaka-proud. So, and then just seeing the achievements in Malaysia and Thailand. Yeah,
So, Chan, ano na lang, greatest lesson na natutunan mo from all over your career na pwede mo i-share sa mga bata?
greatest lesson. Stay hungry, stay humble. Pag may mentality ka ganon, um, you will grow, maging open-minded ka, and it will take you a long way. Also, I would say, wag ka matakot. Whether it be auditions, kung may bagong choreography, or when it comes to competition, yung kasi nervous ka, wag ka matakot. Kasi kaya mo yan. For you're talented. So, it's, my mentor before told me na yung mga competitions, yung mga performances, that's your reward to showcase and show and perform your talent to everyone else out there. So yeah, so just don't be afraid. And then also, one thing I've learned from my one of my mentors that I really look up to, Mitchell Hotea. Um, he said, and I don't know if it's a Blue Devils thing, but desire overcomes doubt. So meaning yung desire mo na maging kung anong gusto mong maging performer, dapat yun mas malaki yon sa doubt at mga fear mo. So talagang push mo, kakayanin mo at matutupad mo din yung gusto mo, yung mga dreams, yung mga hopes, yung mga skills. Yeah, I think yun lang.
All right, I guess that's it's also Miss Pat. Thank you, Christian, and that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next episode right here on CGAP's I. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.